have the pleasure of meeting Coach Mark Wozniak of Legends FC, team out of LaGrange. Mark, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about you?
Just fine, just fine. Thanks for taking the time out really to be with us. I know you have a really busy schedule, but as we get closer to the start of the season, I wanted to kind of get a little bit about your background and everything. Can you tell us your role with the club at Legends FC?
Yeah, so I'm the head coach, which obviously means doing all the day-to-day practices and tactical preparation for games, and obviously recruitment to make sure we've got quality players to come in and perform well.
Great, great. Well, how did you get involved with Legends FC there? I know that you work with John Fuller real closely there. He's the owner of the team there. How did you get involved with him and get going with them?
Yeah, so John is actually he lives in West Point, which is actually where I work with my full-time job as the head coach for Point University. And so he's been a friend and kind of connected through living nearby and coming to Point games. And he just loved how we coached and how we kind of try to do our environment there. And from that, he talked to us about the opportunity of trying to do a Legends team and joining the UPSL. Initially, I was just going to kind of help out with the tryouts, and my assistant that I had at the time was going to be the head coach, and then my graduate assistant was going to be his assistant as well. And then my assistant ended up getting a full-time college job up in Wisconsin.
Hmm.
And then at that point, John looked at me and goes, "Well,
You're
maybe
up.
we should have started with you, but you're up. So you want it?" And I was like, "All right, sure, sure." So yeah, I jumped in March last year, and it's been a really great experience.
Great, great story. I mean, you never know how things are going to go when you start getting
Yeah,
with these clubs and stuff, and it just so happens it rolled out the red carpet for you. So now you
yeah,
got that position there. I wanted, and I asked this of most coaches I interview about the UPSL. You know, I think this it's no secret that in the United States, the youth system, amateur system, and the pathway to pro has not really worked really well. But with the UPSL, the way it's constructed, have you found that it does provide a really good training method for players to go from an amateur type of situation to more of a pro development situation? What's your view on that part?
yeah. No, I would agree for sure. I think having grown up, obviously playing in the youth system in the U.S. and just being a part of the game, even coaching at club level for clubs for 5 years, it was very difficult for players to know if you don't go college, well, what's next? Or even if you did college and then college ends, what do you just play Sunday league? Like, do you try to find random pickup games? And so there was no real potential progression of anything. And with the UPSL and now having so many teams that have been joining and from all over the US, you've got, the Premier Division, you got the First Division, and then now there's actual a next step. And so it's really cool being, in the place where I'm at now, where I've grown up. If I'd have had this opportunity where I was playing and coming out of club, I would have jumped on it. But back then it was you could play college or your career's over. And so now it's like, hey, you've got a way to continue playing and not only just playing with random friends at a park, but actually playing in a high competitive league and with teams that have quality talent and have a structure and a system where players are getting opportunities from it, not just having a good time playing on a Sunday afternoon. So it's been really cool to see the opportunity that it gives.
Yeah, yeah, it seems to be that missing segment has been filled by the UPSL. So you got that little link that's been put in there between amateur and pros, and I see it developing there at Legends. And we'll talk a little bit about the past couple of seasons. I know that being a newer team, it can be a challenge. You know, like you said, there's a lot of new teams coming in. We have a lot of MLS academies in the UPSL across the nation. We have one here in Georgia, of course, Atlanta United, and Georgia Revolution rather is coming in. And of course we have Dalton FC. So there's a lot of powerhouses that are there that creates a real good competitive atmosphere. How has that translated to the performance of legends, as far as what are the biggest challenges you have going up against such high caliber opposition?
Yeah, and I think part of that is something that we had to learn kind of getting into it. You start off with, well, we'll have tryouts and we'll try to find some people and kind of knock on doors to let people know we exist.
Yeah.
And then initially you start off going, well, I guess we'll take these are the people and we'll try to see what we have to do. And then you go in, like you said, to that season and start to realize, okay, these teams know each other. They've been playing together a while. Like we're still figuring out each other's names and where you best play. And we're 6, 7 weeks into the season going, okay, we need to get some more talent. We gotta broaden our range of where we're looking for talent and players. And but I think knowing that has helped us to know where we have to go find talent, the type of quality soccer players we need to find. And then obviously just where we need to step up our game in terms of just as an organization that you kind of don't know until you get in it and then realize, okay, like we could
Yeah.
do better at this and we can grow in this area. And so that's been something we've enjoyed the challenge of.
Right, right. And in the past two seasons, particularly, you've been in the Premier, uh, pretty much mid-table the first season, which was quite an accomplishment when you consider the opposition. And like you say, you threw together some talent that you just had options with.
Yeah.
And maybe not the cream of the crop in the area yet, but you still managed a mid-table finish as a club. Last season, it was a little bit tougher. But you survived. That's the key. You
That's
know,
the key.
I remember we did the game. ASMG did the final game against Laminio, and that was the survival day. And that
Yeah.
I think that shows a lot of heart and quality. I mean, can you talk a little bit about that challenge when I think there was injury issues and player issues, but what's it like to take all those challenges and still succeed in staying in Premier?
No, I mean, it was obviously, like you said, a challenge. And it was one we were thankful we could go into it in the last day knowing if we took care of our job and got a result, then obviously we could know we were safe and be able to be back in the Premier the next season. And so it was stressful, that's for sure. Definitely being on the sideline. There's definitely times you wish you could put on your boots and get in and help them out. But as a coach, you just gotta hope that they're prepared, and we've done our job in trainings up until the point. And so, yeah, honestly, the biggest feeling was just relief to know that we did our job to stay in the division. That was our obviously our goal to make sure we're staying in the division. And then knowing we need to get better and improve from there. But it was like, all right, we got to make sure we take care of that. That's the only focus. Do that and do well. And like I said, it was nice to know that we did it. We could kind of take a big sigh of relief and then
Yeah.
plan for the next one.
And that brings me to my next question because after you finish that, you survived. Okay, we go into the off season. I mean, based on the way that you finish the season, what steps are you taking to improve results for the coming season? I've seen on social media. I think the fans have looked at it, and you seem to be reloading, so to speak, with the talent pool. A lot more college players coming in. What can you say to that? I don't want you to give away any secrets, but you know, how's developing going with the trials and new players that are coming in?
No, it's been really good. I mean, that was part of the really neat thing that we could do when we sat down as staff as with the owner as well to look at kind of where we came from and just the amount of guys we had even playing college or any type of like kind of high level like that before. And we've kind of maybe 4 times as many players that are doing that now and been
Mm,
able to kind of reach out to a bit more of colleges around the area and just connections that I have from being a college coach to then say, hey, you got players that are interested and we'd love to have them. And so, we've now kind of grown in enough where people know who we are, which I think is a big part of that growth process. It's hard to know there's a team if you don't know there's a team. And so now I think people are like, okay, we know who we are. We've been around a little. And so, yeah, we just knew part of that competing at the higher level like we want to is having players that really know and understand the grind that it is to compete and to train 3 times a week and travel. And to be honest, college players understand that grind very well, and they understand the discipline it takes to be a student athlete. And they know coming to play the UPSL team is going to mean playing against bigger, older, sometimes guys that have played pro before, and they're in their late 20s, maybe their early 30s, and they're up for that kind of challenge as opposed to kids coming out of high school. It's a different world for that. So it's been a good thing, but we've definitely found a lot of talent recently.
Right. Yeah. I think some of the players, it's the first time they've been in a pro development type of environment, and playing
Right.
against such opposition. So I think that goes to helping with the development that you're seeing there at Legends. And we mentioned about the fan support there briefly. What can you tell me about or tell us about the fan connection you have with the local community there? I mean, how important is that for the growth of the club?
No, it's huge. And that's evident obviously within our sponsors that we have from people from all around the Grange, different types of community sponsors and organizations there. But then also just knowing that in order to have any real growth and just have a connection with the town, it has to come from the kids. The kids are the ones that are gonna want to come to the games and see
Mhm.
the guys and go, hey, I want to be like you when I grow up, and I want to play soccer in the UPSL, and it starts obviously with that kind of youth level connection. And so I have an opportunity where we've done camps and things with the town just to put on free camps and offer obviously them the chance to come and see what we're like and see the type of quality individuals we have that come out and kind of give back to the community.
Great, great stuff. And piggybacking on that, on game day, there might be some fans who maybe have watched you on YouTube or seen the social media, but they haven't been to the venue yet to watch you live. What can you tell them about the experience for the fan coming to the stadium? I mean, things like concessions, merchandise you might sell there, and maybe even add a little bit about sponsorship and how important that is, and who your sponsors might be that are helping you now and in the future.
Yeah, for sure. So our venues are actually kind of a really cool venue, about 5 minutes from downtown Lagrange, and then it's in a big stadium on a turf field, and so there's the nice big concrete bleachers on either side, and so it has a real kind of unique feeling because the field is actually about 7, 8 feet into the ground, so it's kind of in kind of a coliseum kind of feel where it's down below. And yeah, so it's a really kind of fun environment for everyone to come. There's concessions that they sell there. And then when it's warm, which is most of the year, they'll have kind of like a shaved ice truck that'll be around there as well. And so the kids can go have that. And then, of course, we always try to have kids as mascots and things like that to walk out with the team. And again, kind of really get a feeling of what it's like to be at a high level pro development kind of game and really enjoy the fast pace and the energy and just the fun of a whole family environment.
Great,
And
great.
then obviously some of our sponsors, they're really obviously are huge for us and help us, or Southeast Restoration Services, Advantage Roofing, Hearst Accounting, Mike Patton Auto, Atomic Brand Energy, Oak Ridge Insurance, Beacon Brewing, which actually has beer that they have on tap for Legends, which
And
is
I will vouch that it's a good beer. Okay,
there
I'll go
you
ahead and
go,
vouch
there you
about
go.
that.
Yeah, and then
So,
Michelle Partain, photography. So we could not do it, obviously, without them, and just knowing that local companies within Lagrange are wanting to be a part of what we're doing is really special.
yeah, that's one thing for those who are listening. When you hear this list of sponsors out there, make sure you patronize these sponsors. Support them because they're supporting the team, and they're vital for the survival of the team.
Right.
It costs to have referees. It costs to have a great venue like you have there at Callaway. Uniforms and medical supplies and even balls and flags and everything. So there's a lot of expense there, even travel. And so,
Right.
sponsors make this available, even the atmosphere there for the fans. So, that's something that I want to make sure that the fans understand and also support there, as well as the concessions and, the gate receipts are all there. It's going to a good cause. It's going to the careers of these players. So that's really, really good to see. So, just to close it out here, Coach, with we talked about the players, we talked about the fans and sponsors and everything. So if we do have fans, well, let's start with the players first. If you have players, maybe they're seeing this for the first time and they live in the LaGrange area. How's the trial system going? How can they contact you to get a tryout? And will tryouts be, ended at a certain time, or will they be throughout the season?
Yeah, so we've had a big tryout date that we kind of posted and try to make public as possible. But I think obviously, like any team, we're always interested in any quality talent that's out there, and probably the biggest way would be getting in touch with me through my point email. That's probably the easiest way. But obviously, kids are creative and they can find me on Instagram or Facebook or social media in that way as well. But I think the biggest step is reaching out. I think at some point, obviously, there's the time in the season where we just focus on who we have and probably looking at maybe adding people once it's done. But um, with any good team, if someone moves to here from another part of the U.S. and they want to play and they're really good, then obviously we want to make some opportunity for them to come and have a trial with the team, and it has to be a good fit, not only soccer wise, but obviously within the character of what we like to do as a program. So that's kind of our way to see what they're like, if they fit our values too.
Right, right. There are certain standards that the players need to meet, and
Right.
this league is the same way. Their teams have to meet standards, and so it all is a teaching situation that I've observed with legends and others. And also with the fans, if fans that haven't been out and they come out, what would be the process for them to? I mean, they pay at the gate, and what would they need to do when they get to the stadium?
Yeah, so it make it pretty easy where they can just come and pay at the gate, and then obviously come in and just enjoy the experience and just the environment of being kind of in the local town and like I said, supporting all the great businesses that support us.
There you go. There you go. And I'll add in from the media point of view, because we've done a lot of games for Legends with ASMG, the Atlantic Soccer Media Group. Um, for all those who may be coming out to cover Legends, the press box is air conditioned. I just want you to know that
That's
in the
important.
heat of summer, that makes
Yeah,
a huge difference. So just know that. Come on out, cover the team, spread the word about Legends FC. But
exactly.
Coach, I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk to us here at ASMG. We look forward to seeing what improvements you make for the coming season, and we'll be there broadcasting as many games as we can.
Thank you so much. Enjoy that AC.
All right, yeah, we'll do, man.